Hello and welcome everyone to my live trade breakdown. Going over some live price action here just to show a little update and some narrative as to why I do what I do, right? So on my weekly outlook, if you had watched it, I had said I was expecting price to at least seek some sort of discount and position itself a little bit lower, right, at the beginning of the week, just because tariffs had announced itself and we had got this huge new week opening gap, right? And I had said we could either aim for a PD array here that I'll show you on a lower time frame. That was a 1 hour PD array that I have not changed at all on my weekly outlook, right? And look at this. Look at these bodies. Look how beautiful it is, right? So the weekends of opening lower to create this weekly and daily SMT with YM, right? And then we tapped into this PD array here, which I'll show you on a 1 hour. And then we ended up closing slightly above this BISI, right? To me, that confirmed that this SMT here on the daily, and we only went lower just to seek some form of discount. And now, in my opinion, we are back in a buy program on both. And these are the draws up here. Previous weekly high, previous monthly high. I don't think that's going to happen necessarily today for this session, just because it is the end of the week on Friday. Unless, it wants to like be super zealous once you get up, slightly above this area. But now let's go into the 1 hour and seek some PD arrays. Now, this was the one that I have on the daily and that I have not changed at all, right? This was a BISI that I called. And then here is a 4 hour BISI, as you guys can see, that I had gave as an daily update in my, not in my, but in the market maker school, I gave an update on this PD array live, right? I can show you an example of that after. But in the market maker school, I literally said I was aiming for here to here on a specific day, right? And we ended up forming that low there and never went any lower than that. Once we got back above it, this is the daily BISI here. Notice how we came up, used these areas. This was a PD array that I had called, right? Yeah, I think it was a specific day on Wednesday. I had called from here to here, being a short position, and I had taken this position myself, and I once posted on my X, so if you guys want to see that. But now that we're above here, technically, as soon as the day opened, which was here, inside of here, you could have entered if you are like a swing trader or something. It would stop somewhere below these lows to target previous weekly high. If you have an account that allows you to trade um, overnight and hold positions longer than a day, but day trading is more than enough. So now, for today's logic, as long as we stood above this BISI and inside of this BISI, I viewed this retracement lower and any retracement lower as just manipulation to form some sort of SMT. And here, as you guys can see, we formed that SMT. Just to show you guys on the ES contract, there was that swing low, and here you guys can see that more clear now. So then if you drop down into the 1 minute time frame, we can see that 9:30 here goes in anticipated direction as soon as it opens, but when it does that, you want to wait because that could be some sort of a Judas. Comes back, creates a 30-minute SMT, and that London SMT stays intact. And then we create a 10-minute SMT here with ES. And then I waited for the macro to start, and I was in a position that I hit break even on this initial move lower. So I had set break even to this low before 9:45 news, which was this candle here. So then I waited for another SMT after I hit break even, And then here, if you guys pay attention to this swing lows here, we formed another SMT. And then if you drop down into the smaller time frames after that, here we have our SMT giving us our first signal of a possible expansion occurring. We have all these swings here, and once we started to break above these swings, is where I took a entry from, and the first buy side objective was this high here, right? So that was the first target. Now we have all of these targets here. Asia high, previous daily high, which I expect to get reached, and we have this civvy here that price can expand to if it wants. Once we pop above this previous daily high, I'll be paying attention to see if we get any sort of SMT with here at the previous daily high, just because ES is so far away from it. And I'll just be using SMT to trail. And just to show proof from the pudding, got our positions there. Executions. Throw the labels on there. Move this out the way as you guys can see. Right. So I had taken a trade way earlier. Let's go ahead and show you guys that. But I pretty much did what I said, where I entered here at the opening of the day. And I was targeting this previous daily high. Ended up dealing with some retracement, bad management. That happens. Set break even, hit break even here on a 946 candle. Waited for this just in case I wanted to come and sweep anything here. Took my entry at 951. Random, right? 951. Let you guys do the math on that. And yeah, took a partial there. You guys can see. And currently just chilling, waiting. This is the first time-based liquidity. This are the second time-based liquidity, little cluster of them here. And now we're just waiting for price to expand. I've already secured my profits for the day. I really just need to wait now. Nothing else we can do here besides chill. But that is my logic of why I took this trade and my narrative behind it. And that's a 17-point stop loss. First partial was slightly above here. We're gonna end up close manually in here, which is right there. Boom, which ended up being coincidentally the cycle opening. First profit was at 76 points. Second one, I'm aiming for roughly 169 to 142 points. I'll pretty much just anywhere inside of here, I might just manually close it. But this is a PD array that we can take. And once we take this previous daily high, I'll use this SMT to trail to, or at least once we get above this high here. And then show that. Yeah, once we get above this high here, I'll set a break even to this low. Maybe even this low here at the 1014 candle. If we can get above this. Crazy, you can't make this stuff up. Double power of 3 SMT. Now that we've taken this high, then we'll set break even. to that. So now we have a fresh SMT. That's what as you can see, that one's being noted there. But there's still SMT here. Let's aim for like the 50 range there. 750 being the equilibrium between the 700 and 800 range. It's got to be quick. So got a possible 26-point little pop there. All right, so we took the previous daily high, formed that SMT. Gonna be watching to see, do we get some sort of retracement? A trail to the previous swing. The next candle is a power 3 sequence candle, so I might close manually on that one if we don't get the pop above there. Are we there yet? All right, I want to see this. Got this little fractal. Might just take that if it doesn't pop. I have to take that. See if this candle does. All right, so that fractal SMT with ES is gone. That's good at least.
Tập vì sao bạn đang đảo lêu?
Now we got SMT again with ES. Yeah, I'm gonna just. All right. If we lose this Bissy, I'm done. Either that Bissy or we're popping into that Zibi. Change the colors. You guys can see them. But yep, it can come to here and even here and then continue higher, but I don't want to give up that much. Especially because what time is this? 2. So this was the sequence candle, power 3 candle here, and it formed the high. So I don't want to see swing highs with SMT being a power 3 high. And this is me just trying to squeeze an extra freaking 2 points of profit out of this. There you go. But this is the draw. But anywhere inside of here would have been okay, in my opinion, to take profits. And yeah, there you go. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.